Alone at the cabin, Jason Walker needed a break. The past year had been a relentless blur of work, deadlines, and sleepless nights. When he stumbled upon an old listing for a secluded cabin deep in the Appalachian woods, something about it called to him. No phone signal, no Wi-Fi, just nature, the ad read. That was exactly what he needed. The cabin was a 3-hour drive from town. As he made his way through winding forest roads, the trees grew denser, blocking the sun. The GPS lost signal 20 minutes before he reached the destination. It was just as advertised, remote, quiet, and forgotten by time. He parked his car, grabbed his bag, and unlocked the creaky wooden door. The interior smelled of old wood and dust, but it had charm. A fireplace dominated one wall, a leather chair sat nearby, and a few shelves held aged books and trinkets. The windows were narrow and high, letting in only slivers of light. Jason spent the first night reading by the fire, lulled by the crackling wood and the wind outside. For the first time in months, he slept soundly. But the second night changed everything. Around 2 a.m., he woke with a start. He wasn't sure why. No sound, no dream, just a chill in his bones. He wrapped himself tighter in the blanket and closed his eyes. But then he heard it. Knock. 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 3 slow knocks on the front door. His eyes shot open. Who would be out here at this hour? He got up, heart racing, and tiptoed to the door. He didn't open it, but peered through the peephole. Nothing. Just darkness. Probably a tree branch, he whispered to himself and returned to bed. But the knocking returned the next night. And the night after that, always at 2 a.m. Always 3 knocks, always no one there. On the 4th night, he decided to leave his phone recording on the table facing the door. He needed proof, or at least reassurance that he wasn't losing his mind. When he played it back the next morning, he heard the 3 knocks, clear as day. But then came something else, the sound of the door creaking open. He froze. He knew he hadn't opened it, but the recording didn't lie. There was also a whisper. He replayed that part several times. It was faint, but he could make out the words. "We missed you." Jason felt his blood run cold. He tried to rationalize it. Maybe someone had a key. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe he was being paranoid. He searched the cabin from top to bottom, under the bed, in the attic, behind the fireplace. Nothing. Until he found the trap door in the closet. It had been covered by an old rug. He hadn't noticed it before. It creaked open to reveal wooden stairs descending into darkness. Armed with a flashlight, he climbed down. The air was colder below. The basement was lined with shelves, old tools, boxes, and photos. Jason picked one up. It was a black and white picture of the cabin, and in the window staring out was a face. He rifled through more photos. The same face appeared again and again, always in the background. Pale, hollow eyes, mouth agape. Jason's hands trembled. He dropped the box and backed away. Something moved in the corner of the basement, a soft shuffle. He turned the flashlight toward it. Nothing, just shadows. But then a whisper. "Why did you leave?" He bolted upstairs, slammed the trapdoor shut, and pushed a dresser on top of it. He didn't sleep that night. He didn't even sit. At sunrise, he packed his bags and threw them into the car. But when he turned the key in the ignition, nothing. The car was dead. He popped the hood. The engine was fine, the battery connected. But no matter what he did, it wouldn't start. Then he saw them, footprints in the dew-covered grass, bare human footprints, leading from the forest to the cabin door, and another set, smaller, leading to the back. Jason locked the doors and windows and sat by the fireplace, clutching the poker like a weapon. He needed to survive until morning, but as darkness fell, so did his hope. The knocking started at 2 a.m. again, this time on the back door, then the front, then the windows. All at once. The whispers were louder now. "Come back. Don't leave us again. You were ours." He screamed into the night. "What do you want from me?" And then silence. Jason collapsed by the fire, trembling. Hours passed. He fell into a restless sleep. When he awoke, the cabin was quiet. Sunlight filtered through the windows. It was over. But something felt wrong. He checked his phone. The date had changed. Not by 1 day. By 3 he had lost days. He looked around. The furniture had moved. Dust was disturbed. Scratches lined the wooden walls as if fingernails had scraped at them. He fled outside, determined to hike back to civilization. But the forest was different. Paths he remembered were gone. Every direction looked the same, as if the forest had shifted, as if it didn't want him to leave. Hours passed. He circled back to the cabin. Only it wasn't exactly the same. The wood looked older, rotting, the windows were broken. Ivy covered the walls. Inside, cobwebs hung from the ceiling. The fireplace was cold and filled with ashes. Dust coated everything, and on the wall above the fireplace was a photo of Jason, sitting in the chair, smiling. Below it, a name carved into the wood. Jason Walker, returned home, 1974. His blood ran cold. That wasn't possible. He was born in 1987. He stumbled back, tripping over a loose floorboard. It snapped open, revealing a hollow space. Inside was a journal. Yellowed pages written in shaky handwriting. He flipped through it. I came to escape. The cabin remembered me, said I belonged. They said I was theirs. I tried to leave, but they won't let me go. Not again. The name at the end of the journal? Jason Walker. His own name. He screamed, he ran. Into the forest. Anywhere, just away. But every path led him back to the cabin. As night fell again, the whispers returned. But this time they weren't outside. They were inside, all around. Faces formed in the shadows, pale, empty-eyed, familiar. Jason backed into a corner, clutching the journal to his chest. The last thing he saw before darkness took him was the fireplace, lit again. And above it, a new photo being pinned. Jason Walker, smiling, staring, trapped. 1 year later, a new ad appeared online. Secluded cabin for rent, no signal, no distractions. Perfect escape from the world. A woman named Claire clicked on it. She needed a break.